Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Gridiron Ref. Thank you for tuning in. So, I appreciate everyone's comments and feedback. I've been looking into it, trying to make the adjustments. Somebody wrote in and said, hey, can you do a video about the all but one principle? And I said, that is a great idea. So, today's video, we're going to be talking about penalty enforcement, specifically the all but one principle. All right. Before we get into the all but one principle, there's a few things about penalty enforcement at the National Federation level. And I've said this before in my other penalty enforcement videos. Go back, check them out, see what I have to say. But I'm going to reiterate a few things again. Number one, forget everything you know in the NFL and college about penalty enforcement because we have a completely different rule. So I'm going to tell you right now, I know several college football officials. I look up to them. I learn a lot from them. I'm continuing to learn from them. They are great. However, when it comes to penalty enforcement, this is a totally different monster, so they can't help us with that. We have to stick to our rule book and talk amongst other high school football officials so we can get this penalty enforcement correct. All right? Always, when we're talking about penalty enforcement, remember, the rule book refers to Team A. For coaches, Team A is the team that puts the ball in play by a legal snap. All right, so Team A starts the ball off with legal snap. Team B is their opponent. They remain Team A or Team B throughout the down. Same thing with the kickers and the receivers. If a team kicks, they are the kickers. They remain the kickers throughout the down. The receivers remain receivers throughout the down. Now, one thing that is kind of crazy about this is the offense and defense. Those destinations can change several times throughout the down. They could change 100 times throughout the down. Very unlikely, but I'm going to give you an example here. I'm a member of Team A. I'm the quarterback of Team A. I get the ball, legal snap. I'm running around in the backfield looking to throw the ball. I am on offense right now. My team, I have possession of the ball. My team's in possession of the ball. I'm on offense. I then take up the ball. I throw it, legal forward pass. It's intercepted by Team B. When my opponent intercepts that pass, he is now on offense. I'm now on defense. So coaches are saying, well, wait a minute. My quarterback's out there. My offensive line's out there. My wide receivers are out there. How can we be on defense now? Well, that's what the rule book refers to. Whatever team is in possession of the ball is the offense. Their opponent is the defense. This applies to every single down. Okay, and this can change several times throughout the down. So it's very important that you understand the offense is the team in possession of the ball. Don't get into the mindset, oh, well, that dude's a quarterback, so he's on the offense. No. Whoever's in possession of the ball, the team that's in possession of the ball is on the offense. Their defense, the defense is their opponent. The ball is always in team possession. It may not be in player possession, but it's always in team possession. So once again, I'm that quarterback. I got the ball legally snapped. I'm a member of Team A. I'm running around. I get hit. I fumbled the ball. Well, the ball's rolling around. It's no longer in player possession, but it is in team possession. So the ball is always in team possession. It's very important that you understand that. So we're going to go back to the all but one principle, which is Rule 10, Section 6. And I'm going to read it out for you because it's rough. I get it. It's rough. And the rule states, unless otherwise listed in Section 4 or 5, a penalty for a foul occurring during a play is enforced from the basic spot with the exception of a foul by the offense which occurs behind the basic spot during a loose ball play or running play. This particular foul is enforced from the spot of the foul. Tough, right? Okay, I get it. So the rule book, at the end of the season, my rule book looks like it's gone through a war. It's all tattered, missing pages, all tore up. I use it as reference. It's not a training tool. It is a reference tool. We got to look to our other books and our videos to really break down the rules. So what we're going to do is we're going to dissect the all but one principle. We're going to break it down into little tiny bits and pieces and look at some examples of some video and work through it together. The all but one principle. I want to tell you right now, there is an incorrect philosophy from coast to coast. All right, there's a lot of officials that are buying into an incorrect philosophy, and that is we are going to enforce a foul from the spot that hurts the guilty team the most. And when I was a new official, I didn't understand the rule well enough. I kind of bought into that. But if you go into a game and you say, well, if we have a foul, we're going to enforce the foul based on what's going to hurt the offending team the most, you're incorrect. All right. Now you might get it right 70 or 80% of the time, but the other 20 to 30%, if you're following that concept, you're going to be wrong. So please, let's get out of that concept of hurting the team the most, because it's not always right. Also, to simplify the all but one principle, there's some things that we don't even need to worry about when we're talking about all but one principle. All but one principle is for live ball fouls that occur during scrimmage down. It does not include fouls that occur at the snap. So if we have an illegal shift, illegal formation, illegal substitution, illegal motion, anything that occurs at the snap, that's not covered by the all but one principle, because we know that those fouls that occur at the snap are always enforced from the previous spot. We also don't need to worry about dead ball fouls. So if you have a dead ball foul, there is no, we're not going to worry about the all but one principle for that dead ball foul. We're going to take care of the live ball stuff first and go on and then take care of the dead ball stuff. You cannot combine a live ball foul with a dead ball foul. Dead ball fouls and non-player fouls are enforced separately in order of occurrence. And so if I'm on the field and a coach runs on the field during the down and he's yelling at me and telling me what a terrible official I am, he might not be wrong, but he is breaking the rules. So we're going to enforce that on sportsmanlike conduct foul. That's going to be a non-player foul. We don't worry about an all but one principle for that. We're going to take care of all the live ball stuff first, and then we're going to say, okay, it's a non-player foul. That's a succeeding spot foul. So when you look into the rule book, at the end of the rules, you see what the penalty enforcements are, what the name of the penalty is, whether it's 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards foul, whatever, what the penalty is, and it will say their basic spot, previous spot, succeeding spot. Today, for the all but one principle, we're concerned about the basic spot, and the basic spot is going to be the most important thing. That's the most important thing. So we're going to need to determine what the basic spot is. From there, we'll go and figure out where we're going to enforce this penalty from. So we're going to look at some game film. We're going to look at some a few examples. We'll really break it down and go from there. All right, just so we understand what's beyond and in front of or behind the basic spot, this is just your normal running play. In this situation, we have the end of the run right here. We're going this direction. So any foul that occurs in this section is beyond the basic spot or in front of the basic spot. Anything that occurs back here would be behind the basic spot. So that's just a few concepts to help you understand. In front of or beyond the basic spot, this is our basic spot. Behind the basic spot. All right, now we're going to break the rule down line by line. So we're going to start out. All these fouls are always enforced from the basic spot. Fouls by the defense behind the basic spot. We're always going to enforce those from the basic spot. Fouls by the defense in front of the basic spot. So there you go. Right now, we understand 50% of this rule. Any foul by the defense is going to be enforced from the basic spot. This is during a live ball, of course. And then fouls by the offense in front of the basic spot. So there's 75% of the rule right there that we understand. If we have a foul occurring by the defense, we're going to enforce from the basic spot. Or a foul by the offense in front of the basic spot, we're going to enforce from the basic spot. Then the one foul. That's why the principle is called the all but one principle. This one foul that is enforced from the spot of the foul. And that is a foul by the offense behind the basic spot. This is the only time we go from the spot of the foul is when the foul occurs behind the basic spot. So, the all but one principle. Determining where the basic spot is. How do we figure that out? I said it's the most important thing, and that's true. First, we must understand what type of play we had. So loose ball play. Now this is not a loose ball. If you look into Rule 2, there's a difference between a loose ball and a loose ball play. So we're specifically talking about a loose ball play. So these are the types of things that can happen, and we would have a loose ball play. The first is a legal forward pass. Pretty simple. A backward pass from in or behind the neutral zone. And that would be before the change of possession. So if you have a backward pass in or behind the neutral zone, that is a loose ball play. If it's made beyond the neutral zone, it's a running play. A fumble in or behind the neutral zone. Remember, in or behind the neutral zone. So these are all parts of the loose ball play. A legal or illegal kick made in or behind the neutral zone. So all of these, if these happen, this is part of the loose ball play. Now, the important concept to understand here, I'm going to keep on reiterating this. It's kind of hard. People don't like it. Any runs that precede these types of plays, legal forward pass, a backward pass in or behind the neutral zone, a fumble in behind the neutral zone, a legal or illegal kick in behind the neutral zone. Any runs that precede those are all part of the loose ball play. So, when we have a loose ball play, the basic spot is the previous spot. So we always want to use the previous spot as our basic spot during loose ball plays. The other type of play we can have is a running play. And the rule book simply states a running play is something other than a loose ball play. And I have loose ball spelled wrong there. I apologize. But we have a running play is something other than a loose ball play. The basic spot is the end of a run for a running play. Okay, so our first film that we're going to take a look at is going to be a foul by the defense. Watch number 8 here. He's going to come in. He's not on the line of scrimmage, so he's not allowed to block below the waist, but he's going to do that. Watch number 8 come in, block below the waist. Okay, so we have a foul by the defense back here. You're going to watch the long run. Okay, we're just going to stop it. Let's just say the run ends here. We got our foul back here. The all but one principle. This particular foul, a foul by the defense behind the basic spot, it's enforced from the basic spot. So what we're going to do, because the defense fouled, we are going to enforce this foul from the end of the run. So it would be 15-yard lines, or we're inside the 30 or whatever, half the distance to the goal line, but we're enforcing this because this was a foul by the defense. Remember, all fouls by the defense are going to be enforced from the basic spot. Watching another run play. This one is going to be beyond the basic spot. Okay, we have another run play. We still have a live ball. Watch over here. The ball is still live. Unnecessary and excessive contact by the defense here, okay? So we have a spot of the foul here, and the end of the run is going to be here. Now what we are going to do, because all fouls are enforced from the basic spot by the defense, we're going to go 15 yards from the basic spot. The end of the run is the basic spot. We're going 15 yards from here. All right? We've seen this one before on Gridiron Ref. Another run play here. Team A is running it. They're in possession. They're going to be foul. And we're going to have a foul up here that's circled. Okay. And the end of the run is going to be in this area here. The foul is in front of the basic spot. Therefore, because the foul occurred beyond or in front of the basic spot, and it was by the offense, we're going to move the offense 10 yards back from the basic spot. This is the basic spot. We're going to enforce from there. So far we've had 3 fouls 3 times in a row that we have enforced from the basic spot. So that's all of the fouls that are enforced from the basic spot except for, and we're going to move on to our next one, except for this one. Another run play. We're going to see a block below the waist by the offense out here. Right there's the block below the waist. All right, this was a run play. So the end of the run is in here. The foul's here. Basic spot is right here. All fouls are enforced from the basic spot except for fouls committed by the offense behind the basic spot. So we have the basic spot here. The offense is guilty of a foul. That means we are going to go this way. We're going to enforce 15 yards for the illegal block below the waist this way, going backwards. Okay, this one's very, very easy. We do this all the time. Should have no issues with this one, but we're just as we work through the principle. Legal forward pass. We have a pass in flight. This is a loose ball play. And the defense is guilty of pass interference, defensive pass interference. This is a very simple one. It's basic. You do it all the time. You may not even realize it. What's the basic spot? Because we had a loose ball play. Well, basic spot's here. All right. It was done by the defense, so we're going to enforce from the basic spot. We're going to go this way. I think we're inside the 30, so it's probably going to be half the distance, but if we were way back there, it'd be 15 yards from the basic spot. Basic spot is the previous spot on loose ball plays. Okay, moving on with our loose ball plays. Another loose ball play. Legal forward pass. Now we know we have a loose ball play. What's going to happen on this one? The defense is going to be guilty of a foul back here. All right, and what do we have? We had a foul that occurred behind the basic spot. So we had a loose ball play. Our basic spot is the previous spot. The foul occurred back there, but it was a foul by the defense. So we are going to add 15 yards from the previous spot to here. Again, we're going on the basic spot. This was a foul by the defense. So we always enforce fouls by the defense, live ball fouls by the defense from the basic spot. Okay, we're going to have a backwards pass. Watch the hold in here. That hold's occurring at about the 48-yard line. We've got a backwards pass. That's now been a loose ball play. All the stuff that came before this was part of the loose ball play. All right, so what do we have now? Run ends here. Because we had a loose ball play, the run is insignificant right now. All right, previous spot was here at about the 46. All right, that's our basic spot. Where did our foul occur? We saw flags come down. It occurred around the 48. Because this foul was committed by the offense, and because the foul is behind the basic spot, we are going to move the offense back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Okay, we're going to ramp up the complexity here just a little bit, and we're going to have a legal forward pass. It's a loose ball play. All right, we're going to see right in here where there's a circle, there's going to be a foul for illegal use of hands by the defense. So we have a foul by the defense, and now what do we have? We have a catch here, okay? So our foul occurred back here by the defense. Now, what kind of play was this? This was a loose ball play. This is a legal forward pass. The foul occurred before the legal forward pass was completed. Therefore, you have to be extremely careful in these scenarios. The options that we are going to give to the offense, you can either accept the results of the play, or we can go back 10 yards, previous spot, and replay it down, or we'll enforce 10 yards from the previous spot. So we've got to get these ones right, and that's why if you buy into the attitude, oh, we're going to enforce a foul from where it hurts the most, no, that's incorrect. So in this situation, we have to understand We had a loose ball play. The basic spot is the previous spot. It's not where the run ended because the foul occurred during a loose ball play. Now, what happens if the quarterback here, he decides, you know what, no, I'm going to run. So we have, just for learning purposes, if we have this foul and the quarterback says, I'm going to run, that's perfectly fine. He's allowed to do that. Once he gets tackled, where would the basic spot have, say? So we have this foul, quarterback's down here, okay, end of the run. We had a running play in this scenario because no one ever threw a legal forward pass. The end of the run here is here. Basic spot is the end of the run. So in that case, we'd force 10 yards from the basic spot. But as we watch here, illegal use of hands during the loose ball, the options are enforce 10 yards from the previous spot because that's our basic spot, or accept the results of the play. Okay, we're talking about PSK. We're still going to have a basic spot in this situation. This one's a little bit different. I do have an entire video dedicated to post-scrimmage kick fouls, and you can check that out on the channel. But right now we're just going to talk about the basic spot. So we have a legal kick. We're going to meet all the requirements of PSK, and so we're going to have the kick will end here. We had a hold by Team K. By Team R. Team R fouled up here, and that's where the holding foul occurred up here. So, in a PSK situation, the basic spot will be where the kick ended. So regardless of what happens next, we are going to enforce the foul from the basic spot. The basic spot, the foul occurred up this way. All right. So we're going to enforce the foul by Team R from the basic spot, which is here, which is the end of the kick. That's PSK, basic spot. Just to emphasize loose ball plays and clear up any confusion. When we have a forward pass, all the runs that precede that forward pass or that loose ball play, whether it's a fumble in behind the neutral zone, a kick or illegal kick behind the neutral zone, backward pass behind the neutral zone, when we have that stuff, anything that occurs before the loose ball is part of the loose ball play. So we are going to have a pass. But what I want to get through to you is if this quarterback were to run around for 2 minutes, very unlikely, right? If he were to run around for 2 minutes, then throw this ball, it would all be part of the loose ball play. It's all part of the pass. Think of it like that. I know it's a hard concept to understand, but that's the way it is. And so this isn't a pass just yet. For technical purposes, we see a takedown here, then the ball in the air. So what do we have? We have a loose ball play. It was a legal forward pass. Previous spot is up here. Spot of the foul is going to be right here. Previous spot's up here. The basic, because it's a loose ball play, the basic spot's the previous spot. All fouls are enforced from the basic spot except for fouls by the offense that occur behind the basic spot. So very simple, 10 yards from this spot, we're going this way with the ball. It is important to understand that we can have a loose ball play and a running play during the same down. In fact, that happens quite often. So we're going to start off, we have a legal forward pass. So that's why it's so important, officials, when you're administering a penalty, you must communicate with everyone and say, this foul occurred before the pass was thrown. This foul occurred while the ball was in the air. But we have a legal forward pass in flight, so that's part of the loose ball play. The ball is caught. Right now, the loose ball play is over, and this has become a running play. So if we had a foul during the loose ball play, we use the previous spot as the basic spot. If anything happens now, if we have a foul right now, this foul is occurring during a running play. All right? So had we had an illegal contact or something like that in here, we've got a running play and we're enforcing from the end of the run. the foul is going to be enforced from the end of the run. So this is why we put beanbags down. As you can see, he fumbles here. So we've got our beanbags here marking the end of the run. We're going to watch the ball go. Red ends up with it. Let's just say there was a foul during the run. Maybe this guy got contacted illegally. He didn't, but we're going to say for the purpose of the learning, we had the foul and the end of the run here. We're not going back here to enforce. Okay, the basic spot is the end of the run during this, which happened here. For learning purposes, again, loose ball play, loose ball's over. Now we have a running play, running play, running play. We have a fumble, okay? Before that fumble, for learning purposes, we had a foul by the defense, okay? End of the run's here. Now, for learning purposes, let's say White picks this ball up and runs with it to the 5-yard line. And he's down there. Where are we going to enforce this penalty from? The foul occurred while this running play was going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to get together. We're going to say, hey, that foul occurred before he fumbled. We have the spot of the fumble here. We're not going to enforce the foul from the 5-yard line. We're going to come back here. Our basic spot is where the run ended. Okay, so it's very important that we communicate and talk about this so we understand that this foul occurred prior to the fumble, and because of that, our end of the run is right here. In simple terms, you can have more than one running play during a down. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please understand that we did not cover everything here. There's still a lot more work to do. Get into your rule books, get into your case books, get into all your supplementary books, and talk amongst other high school officials to iron all this out. It's impossible to cover everything in this video, but we tried. Please leave any comments or questions below. Thank you.